Well, we're getting tough on Russia. The president says that Europe is getting tough on Russia, too. But did you notice who has been left out of this global drama? The one country who's been silent on this drama, and certainly not helping us so far in this drama. Well, that country would be China. And if Peter Kiernan is right, the further we push Russia away, the more ominous China's silence could look. Peter, of course, the best-selling author of Becoming China's Bitch. And Peter, if you were right, they joined forces with Russia, well, game's off.
If you talk to the old hands like Kissinger and others, they say if you corner Russia, they're likely to do the thing you least want them to do. And I think whatever we do in our sort of dance with Russia now, we have to be highly aware of the triangulation that can be set up. China has been very reserved here. They abstained in the Security Council votes this morning. Normally they vote in lockstep with Russia.
What do you read into that?
I read into that it's sort of a tepid non-acceptance. They've set out some language that says we'll continue to watch carefully. We think that this trouble is largely caused by the West. And so they're sort of keeping a cool reserve distance. There's a reason for that.
All right. Let's look into the reason for it. That they need the natural gas and other energy that comes out of the Ukraine, right? They don't want anything to stop.
Ukraine's #1 trading partner is Russia. #2 is China.
Wow.
$7 billion a year, on its way to 20. And President Xi...
Number 3 is much of Western Europe.
Yes, the rest of Western Europe. In December, just December, President Xi went over and with the former Prime Minister signed a $30 billion trade pact over 5 years. So this is a very interesting and important part of the world for China. And if you want to follow China's foreign policy, follow their checkbook. So
let's say we follow up with these sanctions. And Europe goes along. Well, it's not a slam dunk that Europe will. China looks at that and says the West might be getting too harsh here. But let's say Russia annexes Crimea. Aren't all bets off? Because then people start, Crimea goes, next is Estonia, and we got another Hitler on it.
Well, you mentioned, it's great you mentioned Estonia. If you look, there are a number of European nations that get virtually all of their natural gas from Russia. That's Finland, that's Sweden, that's Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. There are many others, like Poland, that get most of their natural gas. There's only so hard we can push. And the challenge we're in right now is we have 2 speeds. There's a dual speed. The speed on the ground in Crimea is rapid fire. They're adopting the ruble. No word on how they're going to get the rubles into Crimea. They're adopting Moscow Standard Time. They are going Russia as fast as it can be done. As you know, when you start getting into the kind of steps that we're taking and the EU's taking on sanctions, sanctions are deliberately slow, deliberately painful, deliberately long-lasting. And that duality is going to be tough for us to manage. And China's going to watch and see what happens.
But China's obviously rooting for Russia as just the lesser of the evils, right?
They are, and there are some very hardliners in Russia who are publishing actively saying, you know, we need some sort of Eurasian counterweight to this Western influence that's coming.
And they're concerned, too, about renegades in their midst. They've been dealing with that. They've been dealing with terror. So they might be sympathetic to what Russia, not that Ukraine is a terrorist breakaway. But
no, I think you've got it. That China is going to watch this because if they play their cards right, and they have a tendency to play for long ball, that they're going to look for Russia to turn to them. If there's some sort of turning off of the oil and gas requirements that are going into Europe, for instance, as a part of sanction, that oil is going to flow somewhere, and it may well flow east.
Well, that would be then we would have to respond to China doing that.
Yes,
right?
It's going to be a very tricky
situation.
My God.
Peter Kiernan, thank you very, very much.
Always a pleasure.
I think.